antimony. Is that an element? Am I completely making that up? I don't know. Anyway, it is, I don't know what time it is. I'm not wearing my watch at the moment. It's afternoon. It's almost 2 p.m. Okay. I am eating a meal, a very French meal. Wait, let's get the plastic off this. I can't get the plastic off. It's completely wrapped. Never mind. Straboops, tea, pain au chocolat. Usually I don't have pain au chocolat, but I went to the store and they had some in their like bakery section. So you know me, I love to take a store pain au chocolat, pop it in the oven, get a little toasty crispy. And I'm having a pain au chocolat because I am almost done with this first report. I am literally just, it's going to take me another, I'm going to guess, 45 minutes to finish filling in, what happens is now that I've translated everything and edited it, I now have to transfer it into the deliverable, the final file that I'm going to send them. And that's kind of my way to, I don't copy paste it because number one, the formatting is a little bit weird. The fonts need to be preserved. Sometimes there's bolding, blah, blah, blah. So I actually retype word for word all of it. And then that lets me kind of hear my words one last time and interact with them one last time and think like, okay, I was happy with this preposition 3 days ago. Am I still happy with it now? That kind of thing. So that's where I'm at. I'm about 2/3 of the way through that. Once that's done, I'm going to send that off. And then I'm going to go down to the gymnase to get my free mask because that's also a walking opportunity. And I'm going to try to pick up my package at the post office. So she has a game plan. Got a couple chats in the pipeline later tonight. Friend chat at 7. And then my mom's office is doing a Zoom trivia thing with I think a couple people in different cities. I'm not sure what like the Minneapolis branch or the Chicago branch or something. But she's tagged me in as a team member, and that's starting at like 11 p.m. my time. So I'm very motivated to get work done, to get work done earlier in the day so that I can go off and have isolated fun in the evening. And it starts with some pastry. You hear that crunch? You see this crumb? That's the sign of a good croissant. Sorry, pain au chocolat. Okay, so report is finished. The first one, not the full project. One of 2 reports is finished. It was on Google Docs, this one particular one. So I can't like upload the presentation file and send it to the client like I usually do. So I just had to update it, save, click the share button, and then I've been actually burned by, I'm going to put this down for a second. I've been burned by this method before of updating in a Google Docs because if they edit the document after I've translated it, a lot of the people, there's police walking around in the street. Curious. Anyway, if people edit the document after I've translated it and they think that they can speak English well, a lot of times they use phrasing that seems odd, or they use the wrong terminology, or they use the wrong preposition or whatever, and then it gets published and someone else complains about it, and then it comes back on me as though it's my fault because I mistranslated it. That's happened to me before. I once had to like go to my client's like headquarters and like justify the translations that I made because they thought I did a really bad job. And then I looked at it and I was like, this is not what I translated. I can show you the saved PDF on my computer that does not match this if someone else touched it. So my thinking is by sending them just like the Word document of the thing that I translated, if anything gets changed, I have exculpatory evidence. Check that exculpatory 5 syllables. Boom, boom, boom. So that's done. A couple other admin tasks are done. I'm gonna go to try to get my masks before it's too late. Because they're open until 6:30, but the post office is open until 5. I don't want to go to the post office first and then have a big box to carry with me for like an hour and a half, however long I'm standing in line. So, yeah, let's go for a walk. It's sunny. Let's go see some of it. Oh, I just walked all the way to the place that I thought I was supposed to go to get a mask. Turns out it's the wrong place because where I live is like just on the border between two places, and it fucked up. Yeah, a guy just came and double checked with me that my last name does start with the correct letter, and it does. So now I have to walk basically all the way back to my neighborhood. I didn't have to come all the way out here, but I have to go back home and get like a piece of paper that shows my real address because they need two different things. One that's my ID. My ID happens to have my address on it, but they need a different thing with my address on it because France. So I'm gonna go to the post office and then do all of this again. Oh yeah, let's just round out this storyline here. So last thing that I said, I think was something along the lines of, I tried to go to this one place. I'm trying to tie up all the flyaway hairs that I have, by the way. I tried to go to this one place to get my mask, and it was the wrong place, but the website that I looked at to figure out which place I had to go to had incorrect information about the lines between neighborhoods. So I walked 25 minutes out of my way for nothing, but it's not a big deal because I was going to go for a walk anyway, and walking one place or walking a different place, it doesn't matter. So I walked back, went to the post office, got this at the post office. I know what it is. It's an earring rack. I should have started unwrapping it before being on camera, or it's going to make a lot of noise. Sorry about that. Anyway, and I did spray it with disinfectant beforehand. This is fine. Anyway, here it is. Ooh la la. I don't love that it's white, but it'll be against a white wall. Anyway, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'm not gonna put it up right away because this is gonna take a couple hours, probably to fit all the earrings in, and I need to focus on translating. So that's just going to sit somewhere and wait patiently to have its turn. Anyway, came back from the post office, dropped that off, sprayed it, and then ended up spending a good 5 minutes trying to find a piece of paper that it can work as a proof of residence. Because if you didn't know this about France, administration and bureaucracy is just tedious and, what's the word that I want to say? Overly precise? No. Power tripping? Yes, but no. The word that I'm looking for is stupid. That's not the word, I just can't think of what it is. Fastidious? I don't know. Punctilious? Stop. It's overly complicated. It does not need to be as detailed as it sometimes is. Like, I have a card that is basically my residence permit here. I have a visa in my passport, and it's called a titre de séjour, which basically means, how do I say it? Like a license to live here legally. And I'm obviously covering up information so nobody kind of scales in, zooms in, and steals information. But this is one of the few documents that I have that works as a verifiable ID in France, because they don't let me use my U.S. driver's license, which is the go-to in the U.S. for ID. Partly because it's not it's not a federal document, it's a state document. They also accept passports, other like French documents, but I don't like carrying my passport around. It makes me too nervous. I don't even like carrying this around because it's such a hassle to get. But with all of the restrictions and everything, I was like, okay, carry it in my wallet. That's fine. By the way, my wallet is a cigarette case. Ta-da! And it has my address. This is the front of it. This is the back of it. Can I cover my information? This is the back of it. I'm so scared about my information being out there. But it has my address printed on the back of the card. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, that's proof of address and my ID all in one. And as soon as I got to the first place that wasn't the correct place for me to go to, they said you actually need to have a separate proof of residence in addition to your ID. So I was like, well, everything in France is paperless, so I don't have any printed documents of my proof of residence. Everything's on like my various accounts. So then I was trying to figure out a way to do like pull up an invoice of my electricity or something online, and it just wasn't giving it to me on my phone so I could screen cap it. That wasn't working. Went home pawing through all of my documents to try to find something that would work. Couldn't find anything that was recent because I feel like they would so be nitpicky, I guess, about like when it was issued. So I pulled my internet contract that I got like when I first got here. Actually, funny story, I did not have Wi-Fi in my apartment for the first 8 months that I lived here because I was so scared of going to the internet store and talking to people to get it set up that I just used one of those systems that it's kind of like floating Wi-Fi, and if you have a login, you can just have access to it, and it's kind of like logging into a Wi-Fi network, but it's not grounded in your home. And it was really bad signal, and I had that for the first 8 months being in this apartment, and then I finally like overread up and went to the store, and it was the easiest thing in the world. No, it wasn't easy. I was terrified, but I did it, and now I have Wi-Fi on my own. End story. But this contract from that would have been like 5 years ago, and then I finally just pulled a copy of my lease, my actual lease that I signed when I first got here, because it has my name, it has the address on it, and I was like, if this doesn't count as proof of residence, I don't know what does. And then went to the place that's actually like 5 minutes away from where I live. Cool. I walked 25 minutes incorrectly and then found the place 5 minutes away from my house. That's great. It's fine. Again, I got my exercise. All good. I wonder what my step count is for today. It is 7646. Booyah! And I'm not even done yet, although I don't think I'm going back out today. Anyway, got my mask. What did I do with it? I literally just had it. Did I cover it? Here it is. It's a boring white mask with instructions, and it says you can wear it for 4 hours, keep 1.5 meters away from everyone else, wash between uses. It's machine washable or hand washable. It's not elastic. It's just string ear loops. I'm worried that it might be a little bit loose or tight. I don't know. But the reason that I wanted to get it is, number one, I don't turn down free stuff. Unless it's like something gross. Like mushroom stuffed chocolate bars. I don't want that if it's free. And like I do have these other masks, which I vastly prefer for appearance and for attachment, because then I can adjust it to my size of head, big old basketball head that I got. But I'm always a little bit nervous that someone in a position of authority is just going to get uppity for no reason. It's going to get all high and mighty and be like, that's not an official mask. You can't use that. So I want to have this in my bag in case someone gets on my case about not having a real mask, and then I can say like, okay, well look, I have a real mask. I'll just put this one on instead. This is an eventuality that I don't think is going to happen, but I'm trying to be prepared. You know, plan for the worst sort of scenario. And it was free. So, all of that blah, blah, blah to say, I am going to now switch to trivia. Woohoo! Got the trivia while I was in. Resisted the urge to do it while walking, because there were so many people on the street I needed to be concentrated on, like, Pac-Manning around the ghosts. So, Thursday, May 14th. What shade of bright blue is described as the color of the sky on a clear day? It could be anything. That's so subjective. And gets its name from the mineral lapis lazuli. What color gets its name from lapis lazuli? Okay, so blue. You've got, like, cerulean. I don't see that being connected to lapis lazuli. You've got, like, azul is Spanish. Azure? Azure? Côte d'Azur? Azure? Lazuli, Azure. I'm going to say Azure, A-Z-U-R-E. Azure? Azure? I don't know actually how to pronounce that in English. In French, it's azur. Very easy. Oh, yeah. Number 2. What shade of yellowish orange? Another color question? Oh, haha. It says in the description, today's round is about colors that come from nature. I didn't read it. What's happening here? My hair is sticking out all the wrong places. What shade of yellowish orange gets its name from a material found in fictional billionaire investor John Hammond's walking cane? Fictional billionaire investor John Hammond. Like from Jurassic Park? John Hammond? Does he have a cane? I think he has a cane. What's in his cane? Amber? Oh, amber! Yeah, amber. It's yellowish orange. No, that makes sense. Okay. Number 2. What shade of orange, or sometimes pink, gets its name from members of the largely aquatic phylum Cnidaria, C-N-I-D-A-R-I-A, Cnidaria, which are used in jewelry. Aquatic phylum used in jewelry. Like coral? Coral is, I would say that coral is mostly pink. Orange. Is coral considered a shade of orange? I don't know. I'm going to say coral. Number 4. What chemical element, atomic number of 48, sees about half of its production used in the creation of batteries, and the rest devoted to creating yellow and orange pigments? Okay, so the only thing that I can think of is cobalt, but that's blue. Or, I don't know. I don't know atomic numbers. Number 5. What shade of blue-green gets its name from the duck species Anas creca, C-R-E-C-C-A? There's a lot of Latin in here. In which the males have feathers this color around their eyes. Ducks that have blue-green around their eyes. Okay, I think it's teal, because that's another one of those crossword questions. Like, a color of a duck or something. I don't know what the clue is, but I feel like I write the word teal out a lot for crosswords. Whoop, I'm losing my balance for literally no reason. That's great. Hey, look at me, I know my colors. Lapis lazuli, azure, yes. Amber, yeah. Coral, surprisingly, yeah. Chemical 48, cadmium. Sure. I feel like the only thing that I would have known with cadmium in it is like the ingredients on the back of like junk food for coloring things. I feel like I've heard Claire Saffitz say like cadmium is a coloring agent on like M&Ms or something. I don't know. And then teal duck. So 4 out of 5 for the color round. Booyah. It's 5:30 now. I have to get back to work. I'm very hungry, so I'm gonna have some baklava. It's called petit four libanais, like Lebanese desserts, basically. I'm obviously not going to eat the whole thing, because then I would have to brush my teeth for about 10 minutes afterwards. But I'm going to have some tea. I'm going to have a clementine. I don't have clementines. I'm going to have a nectarine. I'm going to have a little noshy nosh while I'm typity-typiting. I just got off the chat with all the friends, with John and Kevin and Megan and Amelie and Connor. Nisha and Jeremy couldn't attend because they're busy, and completely forgot to film any of it. Whoops. We weren't even doing anything particularly. Yeah, we were just chatting. I was trying to say talking and chatting, and it came out cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. But I had to leave the chat early. Usually I try to stay till the end, but I had to leave early because I have another one at 11 p.m. my time, which is 4 p.m. Minnesota time. I should say Midwest time. With like my mom and her company are doing a trivia game together. I think I've talked about this already. And I need to eat dinner and get some more work done on this translation before I feel comfortable taking the time to go do that. So I had to leave early. I feel really bad about it, but I think we're going to try to chat again on Sunday. So it'll be fine. I'm currently doing a thing about Coca-Cola and how they decided that during the COVID crisis, they were just not going to advertise anymore, which they definitely have the money to pull off. So Good for them, I guess. Okay, time to do trivia with my mom's coworkers who I've never met before. This trivia game is really hard. This is really hard. I'm only in 5 questions in. And there's one about trigonometric functions. Mount Rushmore. Stock options. Oh god. Oh, I'm gonna burn for this one. For this level, we have to name all of these duos. So there's some that I know, and some that I certainly do not. Who is this? Who is that? Okay, the round that we're currently doing is beginning of one thing, shared name or word, and then ending of another thing. So like, the leader of the Autobots factors are itself and 1. So the leader of the Autobots is Optimus Prime. Itself in 1 prime number, so the thing is Optimus Prime number. My mom can see my mouth moving as I'm making a video. Screenshot this if you want to try it. It's really hard. So we lost trivia, and it wasn't my fault.
I knew it.
The absolute nerve!
Yeah.
Can I just state for the record, I answered 4 of those questions that turned out to be correct. Was I taken into account? No.
Well, I typed Key and Peele twice.
Mm-hmm.
What was another one?
Brazil.
Optimus Prime number.
Brazil, number of, like, winning 5 times the FIFA.
I typed 3 times.
What is the thinking process? If someone is saying something multiple times and you just ignore it?
Well, I don't know.
Am I furious? I'm a little furious.
It's all good. You can play for the Chicago team next time.
How much of a traitor do you think I am? When I go to White Sox and Twins games, do I cheer for the White Sox in Chicago? Hell no!
Well, it wasn't going to be Minneapolis against Chicago. It was like everybody's in for themselves, and if people want to team up, that would be okay too. And then it turns into 2 teams. Like, wait a minute. And you notice that one had 3 people on it, and one had 74 people on it. So wait a minute.
Yeah, genuinely, was it just 3 of us playing?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yet, 2 of us were not being heard. I demand a reshuffle next time.
Okay.
I'm furious.
Well, it'll be you and me.
Oh my god.
Next time it'll be just the 2 of us against whoever else.
Love it. I love that plan so much more. You and me, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've muted myself so I can say goodnight to you. Good night.